Padres trade talks are intensifying. MLB insider Jeff Passan has them now linked to the Texas Rangers. Let's talk about how Adolis Garcia might be the fix for the Friars out in left field /DH on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the part of the show where I do the stereotypical YouTube thing of asking you if you could hit subscribe. If not, no worries. Let's talk about that Jeff Passan report that is going around. He linked out to 50 players in the major leagues that he thinks are possible trade targets. Of those 50, the Padres are mentioned in a myriad of them. A bunch of those names like Luis Roberts and Xander Bogaerts and all that, we've already talked about a ton. We've got other videos on them. One I had not personally considered, but like the sound of the longer I thought with it, was Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers. I don't know exactly how you come up with an 80% chance of trade. That feels like a chance or rain thing where you're like, I don't know if it's really going to happen or not, but he is an interesting fit. They list down their best fits: Philly, Seattle, Cleveland, San Diego, San Francisco. So Padres in the mix there. I want to put the Padres at the top of that list on everything that's the best fit because we need something. Whether that's a big ticket fix or a couple of little items, the Padres, we can all agree, even for as positive as I am trying to be lately, that things like Sanders now hitting above 250, the Padres could use a little help in the offensive category. And as you read through this, his average of homers has gone down, but he's been there. He's a bigger bat in terms of the power, the moments that he has had in the playoffs. He is somebody that has provided some big-time heroics. He is a power bat. He is maybe on the downside of his career. He is maybe just needs to get out of Texas, maybe just a couple of different... I don't know his situation necessarily well enough to be like, for sure San Diego is a fix, but to me he ranks right in that perfect zone of like not super expensive, because we're not super investing in him to be the long-term fix, but is just for the here and the now. Here's the numbers for Garcia right now as of this season. As they said, he's fallen off pace a little bit. 233 is not fantastic. 9 home runs I like, and I know that we're not like, he hit those 9 home runs already for someone else. I'm not saying that adds 9 home runs to our list right now, but the Padres don't have a ton of guys hitting a ton of power. So the fact that he has 9, he would still rank in the top 10 for the Friars, and I would assume hit a couple of more as the year goes on. But it's also, to me, interesting and perfect fit because he is right-handed. And a lot of the guys that we are talking about in these different trade scenarios are left-handed. And well, Christian, you say, why do we need to go get a righty even if he's hitting worse? It's because this group right here, out in left field, love all of them. No hates. And I think this is what is listed on the depth chart online for the Padres. I think that actually goes to Sheets, Wade, Brooks, but that's another thing altogether. All those guys are left-handed hitters. And sometimes you just do situationally need to give a lefty hitter a break against a lefty pitcher. Whether or not you believe in the full science of specifically matching righty-lefties, or just you're kind of like existentially like, hey, Gavin Sheets couldn't hit this guy's slider necessarily as well as a right-handed hitter could, ... Having Adolis as a righty hitter who can not necessarily have to play every single day, but can situationally be there when the Padres need him to hit in left, DH one day, plays 3 out of 5 days of the week, comes off the bench 2 of the other 5, and sits one. Something that's that, but a right-handed bat that's got a little bit of that, launch angle vibes that you're like, cool. Every time he steps to the plate, I have confidence in, at least hypothetically, he could run into one. I like that. Look, if we can get a Jarren Duran, or if we can get somebody out there in exchange for a couple of prospecty things that's going to be some huge fix, great. Right now, though, it looks more likely than not that the Padres just don't have the depth of assets to make a blockbustery fix and still be like, oh, we have a future. So unless there is a guy out there who we can trade LDV for, or someone like that, it just fixes the franchise, which I just don't think that exists right now. We got to find a guy who's going to be a bit of a bargain basement find. Here's what we're at right now, contract-wise, for Garcia. He's 32. He is making $10 million this year. He's headed to arbitration and then unrestricted free agency. So is in that perfect range for the Rangers to be willing to be like, hey, he's headed into his mid-30s. His offensive production is down. We are going to wash our hands of him in exchange for, I kind of think that you could say that this is for a Tyler Wade, a reliever, and a minor league top 30 prospecty guy, or something. I'm not saying specifically guys like that, but just those guys, but guys like that. This feels like a deal that the Padres could come to in exchange for giving away things that, unless you're specifically just a fan of that guy, you don't really go, that one hurts. Right-handed bat, available for a good price, veteran of making some playoff runs. Kind of feels like it checks a lot of boxes. Now, obviously, other teams will be in it, so I'm not saying that this is a deadlock that, like, this is going to happen, but as far as hypothetical scenarios, I don't see why the Padres wouldn't kick the tires on this. And I don't see why Passan would come up with an 80% trade for Garcia if it's something where it's like, he's just going to, we're just doing that for, maybe it is just clickbait. Not all, but a lot of you in the comments section are like, hey, your titles, your thumbnails, it's all hyperbolic. And I'm like, okay, great. Some people on our end of the microphone have to sometimes make things exciting for fan bases. But I just get the sense that this could be a thing where he's just looking for a new spot, a new vibe, a rebirth, and that 230 turns into 270 and 20 home runs and ends up being like, boom, that was the little jolt that the Padres needed. 17th most unlucky hitter. And a year of team control, but not at an unreasonable, it's just that 1 year. So, I don't know. We all try to play GM online, and we all try to get fixes for the Padres, but ultimately we were at the best of what a ownership change towards the direction of maybe spending less, and an AJ Preller that we've never really fully been able to read his cards because he plays them so close to the vest, that maybe none of this happens, and maybe we spend all of the time between now and the trade deadline spinning our wheels, being like, this is all going to fix the team, and then nothing materializes because they're just like, we just don't have that mindset without Peter Seidler anymore. But as far as things in the reasonable, rational realm of possible trade ideas, I like this one. Let me know, though, what you think in the comments section, and if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.